meditation and breathing. This was to be an experience that would enable thoughts and pain releasing. Little did I know who else was going to be partaking. It was like for a very long time they had been awaiting. I needed to be where I was back then. I never thought I would see them again. They gave me a gift to survive the world. We'll meet again when my story is told. Hi, friends. For today's episode of What's That Song About, Chris? I'm going to talk about You've Got This, Dad. So in 2018, I went on a bit of a healing retreat for people with mental health issues. And it was for veterans, first responders, and corrections officers. So there was an exercise that we completed. It was a breathing exercise. And I don't know the science behind it, but we were oxygenating our body and with deep breathing, and we were listening to the Moody Blues, which is one of my favorite groups. And during this exercise, I felt a hand on one shoulder, and it was a child's hand, and I felt the paw of a dog on my other shoulder. What these was the hand was of my stillborn son that my first wife and I had in 1990, and his name was Wayne, because it was an infant's hand, and I knew it was him. And the paw was from my golden retriever, and his name was Chester, and we were very close. And there was not communication, but all I heard was, "You've got this, Dad." And I felt that was a story that I had to tell, and that's why I did a spoken word track about it, because I really didn't know how to put this to a melody and sing it. So that's why I did it as a spoken word track, and I hope that you enjoy it. Thank you for watching. Hi, friends. Welcome to my interview today with Joey Culpepper. He's a veteran of the United States Air Force, and he has a new release out called Spring Vacation, which is on Spotify. Nice to talk to you, Joey.
And nice to talk to you too.
So can you tell us exactly where you grew up?
So not graduated, but I grew up in a little town in Alabama called Sylacauga. I was there from when I was born to 18, and that's when I got shipped off to San Antonio for the Air Force. And since then, I've been bouncing around different states, different countries. And I finally just separated about 7 months ago, and we found ourselves back in Sylacauga just for a little bit to get our feet on the right path. And me and my wife just recently just got our first permanent house in Vincent,
Nice.
Alabama. So yeah, it's all exciting. A lot's been going on, but yeah, it's all coming together.
That's great. So when you say separated, that means you left the Air Force.
Yes, and it wasn't when I say separated, some people get like separated for medical or dishonorable, but I feel like it was my time to get out
Mhm.
because me and my wife just found out back in January we were having our first kid,
Oh,
and my contract.
congratulations.
Thank you. And my contract was coming up, and me and my wife, we were both in the military. She separated a year before I did, and we didn't want our kid to have the same life of like moving every 2 to 3 years, and just want to be
Mhm.
closer to family. So like actually like grow up with nieces, nephews, cousins, and everything. So we
That's
decided
great.
like it was best. Thank you. And we decided it's like probably the best um, time to get out because as soon as I got out, 3 weeks later we had the baby. So it
Wow.
was all yeah, it's all there.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you.
I just was caught off on that term because we use released. We're released or discharged or something like
Okay.
that. So when you had said separated, that's just kind of a new term. So can you tell us about your career in the United States Air Force, like deployments, what your job was, and things like that? Any points of interest from your career?
Okay. So I initially came in September of 2013. Did 10 years. Did the whole tech school basic training in San Antonio. Then I flew out to Korea. And then I went to Biloxi, Mississippi for about 4.5 years with a deployment right in between to Bagram, Afghanistan for about 7 months. And then me and my wife, we met actually in Biloxi and we got married and everything before we shipped out to Italy for almost 3 years. Then my last
Wow.
year was in Oklahoma. So
Where were
a
you
lot of
at in
moving, a
Italy?
lot of bouncing around. In northern Italy, around Getty, or probably the biggest city is Desenzano. So
Is it Aviano? Is that the name of the Air Force base there?
no, so it's a smaller one. There are not a lot of Americans there. It's an Italian base, but we're right, I think 2.5 hours, 3 hours south of Austria, because you go straight
Oh,
up from where we're
yeah.
at. You go to Austria, then Germany. So straight
Yeah.
shot.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I was into Trieste a number of times when I was
Okay.
there for the former Yugoslavian war. Yeah, beautiful,
Okay.
beautiful country.
Oh yeah, definitely.
So you were in Bagram for 7 months?
Yep. I got there October of 2016, left April 17.
Wow.
So yep. And it was interesting to say the least. I did not know that Afghanistan that it could snow. But yeah, it apparently does. Like I didn't know anything about it, and we got there and towards November, December had a bunch of snow blizzards there at the time.
Oh wow.
Oh yeah.
I didn't go to Afghanistan. I was releasing from the Navy to go for a civilian job. I worked at a nuclear plant for 10 years after the Navy. I was asked to go, but I was like a chief petty officer. I was like a higher rank, and it was just time for me to go as well. So I mean, uh, I could have went and just sat at a desk for 6 months, but I couldn't see that being any value. So I released and went to my new job. So were you a musician and songwriter before you joined the Air Force?
No, actually. So probably 2 years I was in about 2015. Um, it's weird. It's a weird story, but I was at work at one of the posts. I was like, because I got a little bored. It kind of got boring out
Mhm.
there, so I was like, maybe I could write lyrics. Like maybe let me throw my hat in the ring. Let me see what comes out. And so I started writing lyrics for about 2 3 years. Didn't know how to play guitar at that point,
Mhm.
and then I was stuck in the armory, or I don't say stuck. Like I was assigned to work in the armory for a night shift for either 8 to 12 hours. So there's nobody really coming in or anything. So to pass the time, my dad actually got me a guitar when I was 16, but I found it at my old house. Like I went to go visit and brought it back. So I would practice that on musician for about 2 to 3 hours each night.
Oh,
And
good.
that's where I got down packed. Then I started getting more in depth, looking at Ultimate Guitar, like getting tabs or
Yeah.
looking at even YouTube videos just to
Hmm.
see like how they play, like their style. So it kind
Yeah.
of like ventured off from that.
Yeah. That and I started using a YouTube channel called Justin Guitar. And that was before I took any lessons in person. And I found I got some tips there that really helped me speed up my playing and learning the chords and stuff like that. So it's valuable. Nothing beats
Mhm.
an in-person instructor though, but
Oh
yeah,
yeah.
those tools are great, and especially when you're deployed because you have limited
Mhm.
resources, right? So
Oh
yeah.
yeah. Like when I was deployed, for a good bit of it at least, I would just write on my phone either song lyrics or just like short stories, just like to like pass the time or like to take my mind off things. Or yeah, I would write all I had like a lot of notes on my phone at that time.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, that's the way to do it. I've done the exact same thing. I remember being at sea thinking, boy, would I ever like to write some songs and stuff like that. And the first song that I wrote basically was based on uh I was watching television one night and I saw that a young man got killed in Afghanistan. A young Canadian soldier got killed in Afghanistan by a light armored vehicle rollover. You know, the LAVs. Those I
Yeah.
think the American forces have them as well. So there was a rollover and he got killed. And the picture that they showed him was wearing a hockey jersey from his like hockey picture, you know, like with the stick down and all that
Hmm.
kind of stuff. And my son was playing hockey at the same time. He was in the Army Reserves, and I thought, boy, this kid's really close to home, you know, like it could have been my son, right? So that was the first song I ever wrote, and I didn't even know how to put a melody to it or anything. But I saw an advertisement for a project called Music for the Mind Veterans Edition. And so I reached out. I gave them my lyrics to use, and they recorded themselves a like a spoken word track, and it turned out just fantastic. It turned out really,
Really?
and that's the first thing I ever wrote, really. And it was recorded.
Man.
I'm very fortunate that and I met the music producer that I work with. I work with them 2 days a week because I'm taking music production and engineering course. So I do everything myself on Pro Tools myself here in my music room. So yeah, that's the first song I ever wrote, and it's basically the same thing.
There you go. Yeah, the one of the first I can remember, not too much of the lyrics, but I had it in my wallet for a while, and it was right after like there was a big event that happened. It was a suicide bomber that went off, but a lot of stuff happened, and then I kind of wrote in the perspective of what was going on as a soldier or airman that was going through it,
Mhm.
and I had that in my wallet for about a year or two, and I couldn't exactly get the chords down, so I rewrote it, basically from a short story. I kind of like took off like a short story I wrote,
Mhm.
and about a soldier getting deployed, going away from his family, kids, and then at the end of two out of the three courses is called Soldier Coming Home. And then at the end, the last verse was Soldier Never Coming Home. So it
Oh,
was a big, like heart heavy song I wrote.
yeah. Have you recorded
Yeah.
it?
I have not. I have it written down. I have like tabs and everything, like how to play it, but I have
Yeah.
not recorded anything yet.
I look forward to hearing it.
Yeah, thank you.
So what are your musical influences? Who did you listen to that kind of influenced you to want to learn to play guitar and wanted to sing and write songs?
At first, so it would probably be, it's kind of weird because like as you can tell, I have a thick country accent.
A little
But
bit.
it was Ed Sheeran that started it off because I liked his style of music. I liked the way he played the
Hmm.
guitar, his
Yep.
like
Hmm.
his melody and everything. The way he just everything was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I think it was what was it like X or Multiply? It was like the album that had the big X on it. It's like
Okay.
where it kind of started. And then later down the line, Luke Combs came out with music, and it's like all
Mhm.
these. Um, the one that I've just uh, my biggest country music star that I've liked was always Eric Church
Okay.
from I think, since like eighth or ninth grade, since
Oh
like
yeah.
way and so like with him and Luke Combs and just like it's not just like a set genre that I
Hmm.
always try to look at. I always try to like look at different aspects.
Hmm.
So like it you don't want to like be I would think like not one dimensional. You want to like try to reach out there, trying to like broaden their horizon.
Yeah. Like one of my friends was telling me that my music really sounds like classic rock. Like sometimes I said, well, that's what I listen to, you know, like I mean, I've
Yeah.
been into, you know, classic rock because, you know, I was born in the 60s. So, you know, I listened to that stuff in the 70s and it was all new, you know, and now it's, you know, it's still it brings me back when I hear those songs. And I'm sure it brings back
Yeah.
memories for you as well.
Mhm.
Um, so your new song, Spring Vacation, which is on Spotify, it really has a great vibe to it. I really like it. I've listened to it a number of times. What influenced you to write that song?
So actually, I wrote that back in 2020 or 2021. And at that time the world wasn't that great off with COVID happening.
No, no.
But like I started thinking about it, kind of like reminiscing because I was stuck in Italy, had like the huge lockdown, and I was like, dang, I really wish I could go to a beach or something. And
Mm,
so I started writing down and just trying to get in my mind in the shape of not the shape, but just trying to put my mind on like the previous spring, like the vacations I've had, like the spring breaks I had. And
hmm.
so like going off to the beach with your buddies or like playing beer pong or just bar hopping, going to Coyote Uglies or just like a
Mm,
tiki bar. So it
yeah.
kind of just to bring that out. And then when me releasing it around April, like um I thought it would be a good idea because everybody's going on spring vacation or just
Yep.
went. Like it's around
Hmm.
that time, so I thought it'd be the
Yeah.
most relevant
Yeah, that's
release.
great. It just a
Yeah,
great vibe to it, and your voice is really awesome. Like you're a really good singer.
thank you.
Yeah, yep. I see you have a future in music. Like you've got a really great country voice. Where did you
Thank you.
record the song?
So I recorded it in Childersburg, Alabama, called Prince Productions. Brandon Prince is the one that helped do all the like all the or not the lyrics, but all the instrumental, the electric guitar, the drums,
Mhm.
and everything. So he's a genius when it comes to that. So
Yeah.
he's like a genius at his craft. So I can't thank him enough to help put out this album or this
Mm,
single. But
mhm.
yeah, I'm actually recording with him in the next coming weeks another
Yeah.
single. So, yeah, I'm excited for that as well.
That's great. Yeah. Yeah, I look forward to hearing more of your music. So,
Thank you.
I was going to ask if you had any session players, but you pretty much answered that. And is that the only other song you have right now, like that one that you're going to record with, or do you have more?
So I'm trying to like trickle it down like a song every few months because uh making the album's expensive.
Yeah.
It's a lot of money that goes into an album. So I'm just trying to do like one thing at a time. Just
Hmm.
like a single like in April, then maybe a June to September, and just like trickle it down there
Yeah.
until until I have enough collected where I can make like at least the EP.
Hmm.
But for right now, which actually I released a few songs back in January just on SoundCloud. Just that
Okay.
was the first time I ever record or released music.
Hmm.
Uh, but the reason why I decided to release on Spotify, like actually starting there and Apple Play or
Hmm.
all the other ones, is I wanted to wait until me and my wife got situated somewhere
Hmm.
because I started in Biloxi, then we moved, and then from Italy to Oklahoma, Oklahoma to here. There's a lot of moving around, so I just
Hmm.
want to be perfect to actually start releasing and just doing everything instead of moving around again.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Like you really need I call it the zone. You need to be into the zone and a comfortable area where you can, relax and play and record and things like that. I imagine with a newborn it must be you have to really time your time for playing, eh?
Oh, it's a challenge, I tell you.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Um so Yeah, it was really great that we met up on American Songwriter because
Oh, yeah.
there's a lot of people on there, and I've learned so much from there, and you get a lot of support. Did you post your song on there from Spotify? Did you share the link on there?
I did. So actually, the app itself, I had to go to like the actual website because the app itself, like it's a little buggy if you like sometimes. So I just had to go to the actual link. But yeah, I was
Yeah.
able to post it on there.
Yeah, I posted some of mine on there, and I've gotten some really good reviews, and I've been happy with it. It's such a valuable site. I find the magazine is awesome. Like you get to read about
Oh
other
yeah.
people and their writing, eh?
Mhm.
So yeah. Um, well, anyway, I don't think I have too much more to ask you. Is there anything else you want to mention?
Not that I can think of right now. I should have had like questions up or like a few things up, but it's been a doozy like with moving and everything like just happening
Yeah.
all at once. So yeah.
Yeah, but you find that music and writing songs, playing them, and all that, it's really helped you with your post military career.
Oh, absolutely. And
Yeah,
especially because I'm trying to branch out more into the Birmingham area and to meet other musicians and just trying to broaden my horizon out there. And especially like the music community in Birmingham has been phenomenal so
wow.
far. It's yeah, everybody, no matter what genre you'll be in, like jazz or hard rock or country,
Mhm.
everybody seems to support each other, which is really, you don't really see that a lot in
No,
like recent days, but yeah, it's great.
things really changed after COVID, eh? Like, like
Oh
everyone
yeah.
was locked up for so long. I know I live in Quebec, and like there was no movement. Like you look outside and there was like nobody, not a single person outside, and
Mhm.
people were getting deliveries to their house for groceries and stuff like that. And so yeah, it really changed things. I mean, even for me, like I wrote 23 songs during we were locked down a long time here, and I wrote 23 songs, and I've got I think 19 of them pretty much. I have a song coming out this week. I think it's on Sunday, and I wrote that during COVID. So I've been trying to do the same thing, about one a month, but it doesn't really cost me as much because I do it right here in my music room. So
Oh,
I don't have really that expense, and I'm able to mix and master it. And I have the part of my course we do it as well. So it ends up that I mix my songs as part of a training session. So it works out pretty good.
okay. Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, this sure was it was really nice meeting you and talking to you, and we'll have to keep in touch because I'd like to maybe have another follow-up interview with you after you release a video or release your next song or something, because it's good to show other veterans what younger veterans like yourself are doing, because the world is yours right now at your age. Like you can do anything. So I congratulate you for your new release, and I look forward to seeing more of your stuff.
All right, thank you. And it's nice meeting you too. And definitely I'll give you the details when everything comes out, like the video or a new single or everything. So definitely we'll have to follow up on that.
That sounds great.
All
Good talking to you.
right, thank you.